Hey everybody, Rich here, Rich's Custom Marine and Auto. Sorry about some background noise in the shop there. Today we're going to be working on, actually we've already started working on this generator. So this generator belongs to some friends of ours. As you can see, it's a Homelite 4400 watt. It's got a nice Briggs & Stratton 8 horsepower engine on it. The carburetor I have I'm cleaning it right now. It's all disassembled and soaking. It had a decent amount of cruddy stuff in the bottom of the bowl just from fuel sitting in it. And when we took the fuel out of this, it had a fair amount of water in it. So this generator, I believe what was going on was this cap, I think that vent hole right there, maybe that rubber down in there is bad, maybe that's the issue. But anyways, it was allowing water to get in the fuel. So the other thing we're going to do, other than just plain getting this thing ready to run, is we're going to see if we can convert this thing over to electric start and help them out with that. So I'm not really sure if there's kits out for this. I know there were some models of 8 horsepower Briggs & Strattons that did have electric start. Matter of fact, we used to have a electric start 5,000 watt 8 horsepower generator when I was a kid that it was electric start, and of course it still retained the pull rope on there. So I'll do a little bit of research and see what we can come up with, and if we do have the opportunity to do that upgrade to this, we'll film that and share that with you, and part numbers and all of that, and bring you guys along the way. So it's kind of been a generator time here in Oregon. We've had quite the ice storm, but there in the background you can probably hear the rain hitting the shop roof. It's warmed up to the high 40s now, but still having power outage issues and stuff like that. So we're getting everybody's generators ready to go. So we'll come back when we go to reinstall the carburetor, and actually when we put it together, and then any other stuff we do with this to get this thing ready to go. Alright everybody, so we got the carburetor, we soaked it, and now we've got it, it's all cleaned out. It's been all blown out with air through all of these little passages, down in here where the main jet goes, down in here where the needle goes, through here where the fuel line hooks up, and all of that. So we're all good to go. All the parts are clean. Like for example, this is our main jet, and it's got all these, might be hard to see, but all these little bitty holes, there's some of them in there, and then there's back there and on this side. So basically it's really important that you get those all blown out with air to make sure they're all clear, because if not, it's just not going to run right. So we're going to go reassemble this. Sorry about that. So in this style you can see this jet with the emulsion tube, it threads all the way in there, way down in there. Oftentimes you'll slide your jet in there and it'll go down in there a little ways before it starts to catch, and then you run that thing down and you snug it. So you don't want to really crank on it when you tighten it, you just want to snug it. So that's got that. We'll go ahead and put Put this little guy in, which goes right here. Okay, now we'll go ahead this is our needle, and of course our float here. So this has got a slot, which you can see there. And then our needle has a little lip there, and it slides on that slot just like so. And then this is our seat here, and we just drop this down in there, making sure that that needle goes down inside. And then we've got our pin here that goes through. And on these older style, they're larger on one side than they are the other, the pin is, and they are actually designed to kind of bind in place. But when you get done, your float should sit level to this edge here, like ours is right there. So, and then when we turn it over, you can see that simulates that the fuel's burned out of the bowl, and then this comes up and closes that off. So with that, we're now ready. We'll take our gasket, throw our gasket in place here for the bowl. And the reason we had to do this is what happens is people leave fuel in their small engines, and that fuel, it collects moisture and then it starts to turn bad, and then the engine doesn't run right. The only way to get all of that crud out of the passages and everything is fully disassemble the carburetor. And you can run carburetor cleaner through there, but it still has to be totally disassembled. So we've got, this is our choke, it's working well, and then we've got our throttle valve, throttle blade. So alright, so this thing is all ready to go, and we're ready to go put it back on the machine. Alright, so we're going to get to putting this carburetor on. This uses these special bolts. It's a little different than the later styles, and they use a special socket. You can use pliers on these, but I don't recommend it. You'll mess them up. And these socket sets for these special bolts, I mean, Harbor Freight has them, everybody has them. So, but this particular, for this 8 horsepower Briggs & Stratton, is an E5. So first thing we got to do is get our throttle linkage hooked back up. like so, and then we got to get our little return spring. I realize you guys probably cannot see that. Okay, those are hooked up, so now we'll take one of our bolts, run it through, and our gasket, of course, is already in place. Run this in till not quite before it touches, like so, and then we'll run our other one in. Like so. Now, I'm not sure what the exact torque is for these, but you want them to be snug, but not crazy. They're going into aluminum, so just a little bit like that, and you'll be in good shape. So now we'll go ahead and we'll hook up our fuel line. Like so, and then on these, they have the choke set up here, but inside you got to make sure this lever actually contacts the choke linkage right here. So we'll make sure we do that. And then this breather line goes inside here, and we can get that from the back like so. All right, breather's on, and then okay, got that on. I'll run this in, and then I want to test that choke. It looks like our linkage is sitting properly. Just gonna barely torque those for a second. Perfect. So let me bring you guys over and I'll show you how that works. Alright, so back in there you can see the two levers now, and we can see that our choke linkage is working properly. We can also look, you might be able to see inside here. And you can see it. Okay, so that's got our linkage set up, so now we'll give these a little bit more of a snug like that. And then it's got this one little bolt, goes in the bottom of the air cleaner housing area here. And depending on the age of your unit, the bracket might be a little bit tweaked in the back like this one is, so just pull it over where it needs to be and then that thing will start and go right in there. and then we'll snug it. And just for reference, that's an 8mm. These are 11mm. Alright, so now for our air cleaner would go in just like so. Okay. And then this has these tabs right here, and there's holes, and then it's got the 2 screws here. So this just goes over to the side like that, pivots like so. And then we can run our screws in. Alright, and then at this point, we'd be ready to put some fuel in it and run it. However, like I talked about at the beginning of the video, we're going to do a little bit of research on this and see if we can't make this an electric start. So we're going to do some research on that, and then we'll come back. So guys, I just wanted to come back and do a little wrap up. We went and researched what it would take to make that an electric start generator, and also to have the charging system that it needs to replenish the battery, of course. That you can skip by having a battery maintainer plugged into a normal outlet, so that whenever your power is on, it's actually maintaining the battery. So that's not as crucial, but that would require a flywheel replacement, which is required for the starter upgrade anyways, because it's got to have the ring gear on it. So even though this is an older generator, so this generator was, it has a model year of 1995, some of the parts are out there, and even some of the parts are out there used. They're quite expensive, so it wasn't really economically feasible to convert this generator. I mean, I even went so far, so when these were built, there was the electric start version, which is an LRE4400. I was even going to see if I could get one of those with a bad motor on it, say, or something like that, but those were not available either. So something to keep in mind. If you do have one of these generators, they are a great generator. The Briggs & Stratton, you keep oil in that engine, it's going to run for you forever. But you need to go on to like eBay and some other places like that, because most of the parts are out of stock at the normal places, e-replacement parts, and some of the online small engines, Jack small engine parts and stuff like that. The stuff's not available anymore. But they are available on eBay to some degree, but they're still very, very expensive. So anyways, I just wanted to come back and share that. Also, when we went to start this generator, it had no spark, and that was because of the low oil sensor. So we had to pull that thing out and clean it. It just had a lot of carbon and other stuff in there. They have a magnet in there, so any of the metal particles kind of stick to that magnet. Really easy to do. It's on the side of the engine. You can put a 2x6 under one side of the generator. You don't even have to drain your oil out. And then very carefully take a flathead screwdriver, pop that thing apart. You pull it out of there, you'll see what I mean. They're about 80 bucks for a new one, so take yours apart and see if you can clean it first. Spray it out with brake clean, or use an ultrasonic cleaner, or do something like that, and then put it all back together. And it'll probably do what ours did. It worked perfectly. So that generator now, you turn the gas on and give it a second, you choke it, it starts on the first pull. It's a great running generator, so it should work really good for our customer. So anyways, I hope that information helps you guys out if you're looking to do this on this generator or something similar. And you know, as always, we appreciate your likes, your subscribes, any comments you have, and we come back and we review the comments and we answer when we can, which is usually all the time. And we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.